Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Monday, the 18th of August, 2025. I admit I played hooky on everybody this weekend. Just taking off the rest of the summer and sort of enjoying it, putting out the daily updates. I just wasn't in the mood. I wish I could tell you I was in the mood. I wasn't. And I had so many things to get done, parties to go to. We're finishing up the summer, and boy, it's just one party after the other. Good friends. It's great. By the way, I hope you like my Rick's Cafe t-shirt. It's not local. This is from Casablanca. All right. So as we talk about the markets, you know, today was the day where everybody ran from Europe to meet with President Trump to try to figure out what do they do, how do they end this war in Ukraine, what is Ukraine willing to do to end the war, what is Putin willing to do to end the war. At the end of a long day, unlike the meeting between Trump and Putin that lasted, 3 hours? This was a full day of meetings. And I understand they're running back the EU members, and they'll have a summit tomorrow. And they're going to try to come up with game plans that they can get to get this thing done. The big important thing is the U.S. agreed to be part of the security to defend Ukraine if they can reach a deal. That is important. It doesn't mean there's boots on the ground. Don't quite know what it all means yet. We'll worry about it as it evolves. And that's the key word, as it evolves. What I saw today was the opportunities by many traders to buy these markets. Now, in all reality, it was easier to buy the ETFs than it was the futures. They have been embedded. The futures haven't, just the way it sometimes goes. When you take a look at the gold, it's going nowhere. It sort of fell into a hole here, and it's just sort of sitting. In fact, most of the metals are doing that right now. The dollar's stuck at the 98 level. It tries to break down, tries to go up, hasn't gone anywhere. My dollar report goes off our website today, August 18th, 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to see it, you can move your cursor up to the top. You'll see an icon up there to do it, or just go to iraepstein.com and take your look. Once they're gone, they're gone. They're not a history lesson. They're meant for right now. As you can see, energy's going like this. What do we do with all this? If they make peace, all that Russian oil stays on the market. And then we also get the Saudis that want to put out more oil, and the IEA saying there's going to be a glut. So these markets are having a hard time rallying. In the bonds and the notes, you know what Friday is, right? That is going to be when Fed Chair Powell speaks at Jackson Hole. What pressure are they going to put on him to talk about interest rates, which way to go? Everybody will listen word by word. He generally doesn't spill the beans, so we'll see what comes out of that. In terms of news for tomorrow, let's talk a little bit there. We get the Johnson Redbook sales. You know, you get these every week, so we'll get those. That's for the weekend at August 16th. How did the retail sales go? They've been running about 5.5% increase. The kids are all going back to school. Housing starts and building permits, they're looking for a little slippage right here. You can see they're looking for July at 1.3 million. That's about 200,000 less than it was before. It's about 100,000 less on the permits they're looking for. And after the meeting today, they did say that Putin and Trump had a 40-minute conversation, agreement for what's going to happen. And now Putin-Zelensky, they'll set up where the meeting's going to happen. What will come out of it, don't know. But it's certainly a good thing to have them talk face to face rather than the fighting just goes on every single day. And believe me, you know, the Ukrainians are doing some damage. Hungary gets oil from Russia still, and a pipeline, a big one, was hit. That stops that temporarily. So let's take a look at what we've got here and get a feel for the markets. First off, does that look to you on a closing basis like this market is having a weak August? I'm not saying it can't. It is the 18th. There's another half the month. But that's new highs if the market finished right there. You've come up and you're losing what? You're losing volatility in the market. Instead of these broader ranges, look at how everything's narrowing in for the moment. The pattern is still one of bullishness overall. We've got higher lows, higher highs overall in the market, but you're up against the upper Bollinger Band, and you could easily sink back to 64.10, not much, at 60 points, to find support. Do you have to? Of course not. But the market could be doing that. Do we have an embedded reading? In order to embed, you've got to keep the numbers over the 80 level, 3 days in a row. And what you do here is day one, can't count today, but yes, the close of business on the 18th, yep. I'm sorry that's so small. I don't know how that happened. Day two was Friday, and day three happened on Monday. You have the embedded reading. So until that's lost with the red line under 79, these pullbacks have a tendency to get bought. This is how that should have looked. I don't know why it got so small there. The market is trying still the upside in the NASDAQ. Here, too, you're getting your embedded reading, barely. It's got to try to hold on to it. We'll see if it can do that. In the Dow, it's just an overbought market with a pattern of a higher high, lower low, and very much caught in an overall sideways action. But nothing's bearish on these markets. That's the important thing. And the Russell has been standing up against some of the others going sideways. It's nowhere near its all-time high, but it's doing much better. And as I told you, this is where the people that are going, I don't want to own that. I'm not going to pay those earnings. I'm going to go and rush to buy some of these, some of the Russells because interest rates are going to fall. And when they do, less interest that company pays. They're sensitive to that, blah, blah, blah. And you're seeing that at work in the market. You don't have to agree with me, but it's staring you in the face. When you come to the DAX, uptrend, could pull back, doesn't seem to have the power. And I finished last week telling you that I had questions that it can make it to the Bollinger Band. I'd love it to do it, but it's already overbought. And in summer markets, why would you deploy money in an overbought or oversold market? And the bonds are oversold. So as much as they've been falling, they're very oversold. The trend is down. The bias is down in the market. When we step to the 5-year note, you're neutral. You've just gone back to the 18-day average. When we look at the dollar index, you keep fighting a battle right here at that 18-day average, trying to work your way down, but it really hasn't been able to do a lot one way or the other. In the euro tonight, you can see the market just basically flat. It's overbought as can be. The currencies, they're waiting for their move. What do you think's going to move it? I'll give you the word. Friday, Fed Chair Powell. He doesn't have to say anything, but they'll read 50 different things into whatever he does. In the British pound, I have my doubts, and I've said that you're going to the Bollinger Band. Again, you got overbought early on in this, so markets need to consolidate, I think, a little bit. Bitcoin has really gotten hit pretty hard here. Bitcoin got to 125. It just hit 113,000. That's a $12,000 break in, 4 business days or so? That's a big break that had. Brent is void of a trend. You're actually making higher highs, lower lows, but you have an embedded reading. If it can hang on with that, then prices should work lower. The real battle's the green line, the 100-day average of closes. The bias is down. That's what it's trying to hold on to. You have the same thing at work in the October WTI crude, same embedded reading, trend down, bias down as far as I'm concerned. Gasoline held the 100-day average and gave us a bounce. A bounce doesn't mean it's running to the upside. It's just a bounce in the market. And that gas is still in a very bearish phase, but way too oversold from my perspective for you to press the short side. So that's where I'm at with it. I'd like you to take a look at that dollar index report. You can look right up here. You can go to our website for any of our free offers at iraepstein.com. You have a great evening. I'll catch you in the other videos tonight and first thing in the morning flash update. You take care.